Yeah, I don't know that we're ever going to get the answer to the question of kind of where is a healthy Jets limit. At some point somebody's going to push him there. I don't know. We've seen it at times, but I don't know that he's been 100% when we've seen it. Like early in the season at Hangtown, he was definitely on the limit for where he was and where the motorcycle was. This weekend felt a little different. Like the sand could certainly be a part of that. His technique is just so elite that it unlocks levels that most guys will just never be able to even think about. So there is that aspect to it. But I think on these weekends, which BT touched on this, Jett is, for whatever phrase you want to use, a gamer. But the simple fact is, the higher the challenge or the more pressure or spectacle, the more asked of him. And when he knows that, the better performance you're going to see from him. So when everybody knows that Eli's so great at Southwick, everybody knows Eli's so great at Washougal, Chase is coming back this weekend at Redbud. Like those types of scenarios where everybody's asking, hey, what's Jett going to do? Can Jett do it? That's when you're going to get his best performance. And I would say, like Lucas Myrtle, regardless of what you want to say or think or whatever, right? He's not even his agent anymore. But I will say that Lucas Myrtle told me that long ago, 2 years ago. He told me that if you want to see Jett's best, wait until the lights are the brightest and there's the most pressure on him possible. That's when you're going to get his best effort, because that's when he's 100% engaged and focused. And the number one thing that we're always trying to do is give him something to chase and keep his mind of 100% on task and not be thinking about a million other things. So I think a weekend like that, like Ben said, a weekend at Southwick where he knows what he's up against with Eli, that unlocks that level for Jett. And I think at some point, as he continues to mature, he's slowly becoming a man. And I would say physically he's already there, but mentally he's still developing, right? Like he just emotionally, situationally, all those things, that takes time. He's only 21 years old. I certainly was not where I would like to have been mentally, or my thought processes at 21. At some point, he's going to be able to harness that performance level and know when to turn it on and off, just because he knows he needs to. And it's not going to take like some outlandish scenario or whatever. He's going to be able to execute that at will. It's just going to be something he learns how to do. And I don't know when that happens if anybody's going to be able to beat him, period. Like, I just don't. When I look at everything he's got going for him, talent, skill, starts, yeah, when that final piece comes around, I mean, Godspeed to everybody else. I just don't. I don't think it's going to be possible to beat him. And that sounds really grandiose and hyperbolic and whatever word you want to throw at it. But I'm just telling you, watching on who do I think can beat this guy? Well, if you tell me that Jett's found the ability to be his best self every weekend, then the answer is simply nobody. That's the answer. So that could be where we're headed.
Yeah. What else do you say to that? What then goes in my mind is what keeps him in the game. Is winning, chasing record books, and cashing 100,000K checks each weekend and $1 million after each championship. Does that keep him in the game? Because I think that you can mark it down in history that this past weekend was the turning point of what JT's talking about, that he can potentially, he is mentally in a position after the weekend to go, man, I can just go on a run here and just take this for, as long as I'm injury free, take this for a very, very long time. I'm going to go on the record as saying that. Yeah.
You know what? The one thing I would say to that, BT, is I've never seen Jett act in a way where I could physically see anger towards someone else from him. Okay, the Jason Anderson thing, there was a lot of emotion when that happened, but like he really, really does not like Haiden Deegan. I mean, those two do not like each other. And if Haiden continues to improve, that could be a guy that keeps Jett engaged, because he is going to want to he's going to want to embarrass Haiden. And I don't know if he will or won't. Like, we're going to find out. The gate's going to drop, and those two will sort that out. But like that action after the race where he's kind of mocking Haiden, like there's a lot of animosity there, and I've never seen Jett. Like, Jett's one of the most happy-go-lucky people I've ever been around, and he genuinely dislikes that guy. So that's one thing where I'm like, if I'm Dazzy, or if I'm anybody trying to motivate him, I show him everything possible where Hayden's firing back. Because I'll just tell you right now, I'm fully expecting Haiden to go after Jett on the podium this weekend. If Haiden wins easily, which I think he will, he's going after Jett on the podium after last weekend and the stuff that's gone on this week. So to me, it's highly entertaining, right? I don't have a dog in the fight. I'm just here to watch and eat popcorn during it. But that could be one thing that keeps Jett motivated to keep pushing.
Yeah, I that's interesting. I feel like the timing of this happening is probably going to work well for Jett in terms of, like you said, the motivation factor. I didn't know that there was that much dislike there. Or I wasn't aware of that. The one thing I will say, and I'll preface this for the keyboard warriors out there, I've coached Haiden Deegan, and I've been a little bit in their camp, and we finished on amicable, good terms. Going forward, his skill set has to raise to even be in the conversation of Jett Lawrence. I'm telling you straight out right now, I know better than all you people on the keyboards right now that he is not in the conversation of skills to be able to ride at that level. The only thing that keeps him in that conversation, or allows him to be somewhat in that conversation, is his desire and will to win, and his that doggedness that he has in it. But he's going to have to lift his skill set to actually be competitive with Jett and the way Jett rides a motorcycle, because that is what is allowing Jett Lawrence to ride a motorcycle at the speed that he does, and his ceiling. This is what I talk about in coaching terms. His ceiling is so high. I don't know where Jett Lawrence's ceiling is. I can tell you where Eli Tomac is, where Haiden Deegan is, where Hunter is. Sexton. I can tell you all of that by analyzing what they do, how they think, the decisions they make. I don't know what Jett Lawrence's is. Nobody does. There's only one person on the face of this earth that knows that. And he's so uncanny. I don't even know if he knows that. He just has this incredible skill set and on a motorcycle to ride it the way he does. It's just incredible. And that's why I keep saying, like, just enjoy it. Like, to the people that are haters or want to, sort of bash their keyboard, just enjoy it. It's just a great time to be a fan of the sport, to watch him ride a motorcycle the way he does.
Yep. I 100% agree with the take on Haiden. I think I said it somewhere earlier, maybe on Sunday, somewhere I said, right now, Haiden thinks that he wants some, but he does not want any. I promise you, he doesn't want any right now. Like, the saving grace for him.
JT, he doesn't know.
Maybe so. Yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't know.
The saving grace is he has a year before he has to find out.
Yeah.
And really find out. So he needs to keep improving, and maybe, he's gotten a lot better. So I'm not going to sit here and say I know where he will or won't. Jett, who knows if Jett stays healthy? Like, there's so many things that can happen. But
sure.
Right now, if Haiden thinks that he could get on a 450 and go race against Jett, he's fooling himself. And I don't think that Brian believes that yet. Yeah. I think he knows this is a process that they're in. But it's going to be fascinating to watch.
You beat me to it, JT. Like that, Brian knows that. Haiden, he's still young, and he's, he'd be full of confidence. The way things are going. But Brian knows the bigger picture, and absolutely, I think that the one, like I said again, the strongest string to his bow that he currently has is just that desire, right? If you saw after Lakewood, the comments that he was making, and I picked it up on his YouTube channel. He said to his dad emotionally, "I don't lose, bro." And there was a real deep desire there when he said that to be like, I don't want to come second. So I think that is the one piece of the puzzle that is enormous. And I'm not saying that Jett doesn't have that, but you just don't see, that desire in the way he rides a motorcycle, and his skill set is what we see, and Hayden's is done through a different style. So I certainly think
Yeah,
that it's going to take.
I was going to say, I think that's what I'm most excited for. I want to see Jett ride angry at someone else, because I've never seen it. I've never seen him I see him go really fast, and then I see him go over smiling and laughing to Chase or Eli or whoever. There's never been a situation where I've seen him want to really, really bury someone. And I saw that guy last Saturday, and they're not even racing each other yet, but I saw that guy. I saw inside Jett basically I really don't care for this person. They're not even in the same race. He's going out of his way to mock someone that he's not even racing against yet. And we're just getting started. So anyway, it's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to have a lot of opportunity to talk about that moving forward. But remember this, recording this on a Thursday. I 100% believe that Hayden's going to take a dedicated shot at Jett on the podium this weekend.
Yeah, interesting. I lost my train of thought earlier. I've got a big box of Whitaker's chocolate next to me that one Ross Beaton delivered to my family, and my wife walked in to get some. I lost my train of thought looking at it. But that motivation of beating Hayden, that might be the thing, that stokes the fire for years to come. That may be it. I certainly know for me it would have been cash in those 100K weekend checks and $1 million championship bonuses, but maybe that gets old for people that cash that many. I don't know. Wouldn't for me.
Yeah, it's going to be so good to see. We might even get a little precursor to Deegan, that full 450 step outdoors in 2026 predicted. The AusX Open, there's a lot of chat. Deegan may debut on a 450 there, so that'd certainly simmer the beef away nicely. And you look back, you guys mentioned Roxon's comments on Hayden's antics. They're not going to fly in the 450 class, but Deegs will probably never back down, and he loves barking back, and he just can't help himself. And it's really good points you make. Jett usually seems unfazed by it all, but not this time. So hopefully, if that happens, JT, will we get you down in Melbourne, mate?
I'd love to come down, and on the point of, Kenny's comments, there's one thing, and I'll shut up about Hayden. The one thing we need to remember with Hayden is that he really never gets aggressive with his comments until he feels like he has everybody in a position where they can't do anything about it. Yep. He really hasn't ever stepped out when he was kind of in a position where he was vulnerable. But once he turns the corner and he realizes, oh yeah, I'm better than you guys, then he pours it on. Then it's I don't fear you guys at all anymore. So it's going to be really interesting to see how he enters the 450 class, because I think he'll be I think he'll just kind of keep it cool at first. But at some point, he's going to get to a place where he's in the top 3. He's battling for wins, whether he can beat Jett or not. We've covered. But then I think you're going to see him kind of revert back to the old Hayden. But I really do think at the very beginning, you won't see him just attacking guys, talking a bunch of nonsense on the podium right away or wherever he is. I think he'll wait until he gets some leverage on those guys, whether that's in 26, 27, 28, whenever. And then you're going to see the old Hayden pop up. And he's been really, really calculated with that. So for anybody who just thinks it's, he's just out there running his mouth, willy-nilly with no real plan, I don't really believe that's the case. I think there's a lot of understanding the situation and understanding where he is, to where I can say whatever I want because these guys simply can't do anything about it. He'll wait until that turn gets made before he goes to that same place, I think, anyway.
You beat me to it, JT. I was about to say that. He has a lot of respect, I find, and is really calculated with his comments and the nonsense and BS that he talks. And it is very calculated in a sense. And I'll say this so people can reference something. find a comment that he's made of BS and nonsense to Cole Davies, because there's still like a little bit of, oh, I still haven't got this guy covered, and I'm totally blowing his doors off yet. Someone find that and send it to me, because I haven't seen it. And my boys watch a lot of YouTube, so I would have seen it. But the point being, to what you're saying, JT, that there's a lot of calculation in how he goes about that, the mental part of, his, I don't know, what do you call it, outbursts, or, his comments publicly. So, and the games, it's just part of the way he does it, and the sport's better off for it, in my opinion.